So you guys, I'm super excited about an upcoming documentary. It's called The M Factor, which premieres on October 17 in PBS, and the timing couldn't be better because guess what? October is a Menopause Awareness Month. So this is the first documentary that shines a light on the often overlooked health struggles faced by millions of women going through menopause. Check this out.
October is Menopause Awareness Month, and the new documentary, The M Factor, digs deep into questions around menopause, and it explores the emotional, mental, and physical impact on women.
We are joined by two of the producers, Joanne LaMarca Matheson, who was a big part of the Today Show family for many years, and journalist Tamsin Fidel. They learned from experts and everyday women. Take a look.
My appointment with you, honestly, I thought was going to be a waste of time because everybody else turned me away. So when you agreed that I could try hormone replacement, and after 2 weeks of being on hormone replacements, it has completely changed my life. I'm sorry to be upset, but it's just, I felt like it was, I was my old self and that I was thriving in this world again.
Morning to both of you. So glad you're here. This is something that every single woman will go through. Right. This isn't like 20% of women will go. No, every woman this will happen to.
Every single woman.
What was the inspiration for learning more and doing the documentary?
Well, so I was going through menopause while I was working here, and I was having a really hard time. I was not sleeping at all. I'd get in bed at 11 o'clock, and I know a lot of women can identify with this. You get in bed, you close your eyes, you're exhausted, you fall asleep, and 5 minutes later you're like, oh, wait. It feels like it's 6 o'clock in the morning and you're up. And I would binge watch television till 5 and fall asleep again at 5:30 and then come in, and it was awful. And when I left, I was complaining about these symptoms, and I met Tamsin through a mutual friend because she was going through the same thing. And we said, we're educated women, and we had no idea, who work in television, so we know like a little bit about a lot. We knew nothing. And so we were comparing notes, and we thought, we cannot let other women go through what we're going through. So we're going to go out there, we're going to interview whoever will talk to us. And at the beginning, it was difficult, right, to get people to talk to us. And so we thought, okay, we know television, we know how to tell a story. We're going to get some information. We're going to slap it up on social media so that other people have information and don't have to deal with this.
I think that's the key. So kudos to you both. The full title of this, by the way, is called The M Factor, Shredding the Silence on Menopause. And I have to say, I don't feel like we've talked about this as much over the last 50 years as we have in the last single year. And there's so much more to say. Tamsin, talk about how hard it was to put this together and what you're hoping that women take from it. And men, too, frankly.
Yeah, right. Everybody, really.
Everybody.
You know, when we started talking about it, this was about 4 years ago, we got one after another people saying, there's not going to be an audience for that. No one cares about that topic. That's a small audience. Half of this world is going to go through menopause, and all women are going to go through menopause. When we look at the numbers, 1.1 billion by 2025 will be in menopause. So we had a lot of doors shut in our face, and we said, you know what, there's too many women suffering. We can't allow that, and we have to keep going. And that's what we did. One after another, we found leading voices and women who are open to talking to us.
Do you think the conversation is changing since just on the process of doing this doc? Is the conversation changing?
Thanks to Halle Berry, and thanks to Drew Barrymore, and thanks to Brooke, thanks to beautiful
Naomi
women,
Watts.
and Naomi Watts, definitely. Yes. These beautiful women who are talking about it and are beautiful. And, you know, we all have this vision, I think, of going through menopause and being, you know, Edith Bunker. When she went through menopause, she was 47, and she looked like she was 67 back then. And so we have this vision of this dried up old woman who's not. So everyone was afraid to talk about it. But if Halle Berry's going through menopause and Naomi Watts is going,
maybe
I could go through menopause.
I think what we've noticed in terms of the change is that women are having these conversations.
Yeah.
I will show up somewhere and it'll be a dinner party conversation now. We didn't see that before.
Right.
And then we see men jumping in saying, my wife or my partner is going through this. What can I do to help? And that's where we start to see some difference.
What shocks me is that doctors aren't really trained on this, right? All these people go to medical school and learn about absolutely everything, but something that affects half of the world's population, they don't learn about.
Yeah, it's shocking. In our research, we found that many doctors, OBGYNs, get less than a month of training in
And
medical
that's if
school.
they choose. It's not a requirement. So most women think, oh, you go to your OBGYN and she'll tell me what to do, or he'll tell me what to do. But they're not necessarily educated in menopause. We have urologists who are, we have endocrinologists who are in the film. But you have to make sure that your doctor, and that was the big thing we took away from this, is that you have to make sure your doctor has been educated in menopause.
And if you haven't,
continues.
if they haven't, then go ahead and switch to someone else. I mean, what is
Yes.
the underlying takeaway message you want women to have on menopause?
I think the underlying takeaway message is that you have to be your own advocate right now.
Yes.
And if something doesn't feel right, it's not. You have to pay attention to your symptoms, and you have to know you're not alone.
Yes,
All
wonderful.
right, so
Yes.
nice to meet both of you. Thank you for coming by with an important documentary. I know you're
thank you.
all have screenings all over the place, so I can't wait to
All
see
over
all
the
of it.
world. Thank you.
You can catch the M Factor, Shredding the Silence on Menopause on PBS starting October 17th, so check your local listings.